Hey, good afternoon. We're here for a quick presentation and discussion on numerology. What is it and what does it mean? We're here with Drea. She has some insight on numerology. Drea, as you well know, she has her own platform as well. It's called Brown Girl Boston as well. She contributes to the page as much as she can, and she contributes to the channel as much as she can. Good afternoon, Drea.
Good afternoon, Q. What's up, family? How y'all doing?
All right, what's going on?
Nothing much. I'm excited for this show. I know y'all gonna be like, what? I try to keep it basic and simple as possible. I have my whiteboard. Hopefully everybody can see it in the back. If not, I'll keep explaining. So we'll get into it and Q ask questions, audience ask questions. So I've been studying numerology for about a year. So it's an esoteric science dealing with numbers, how numbers pretty much, rule the world. When you think about time, we always looking at, okay, what time is it? What time do I have to get up? Even for my birthdays, all the way down to our house number. And a lot of times we don't know the meaning of numbers. So a lot of times we're like, oh, yeah, my birthday's my birthday, and people make a big deal about it, but they don't know why. So we're gonna talk about that. What made me get into numerology, I actually was going through some stuff in my life last year, and I was like, okay, it's more to it than just here's your numbers and that's it. People talk about astrology, which is the study of signs, the science of that. And besides me being a Capricorn, I can't say all Capricorns are the same because they're not. Every numbers are not the same as well. So I actually got two readings from King Simon. So this is one book that everyone should check out. Numbers are simple. People are complicated, as we know. King Simon, I found him through Black Magic 363 on YouTube. And also I got a reading from him. That was my latest reading. Then my first reading I got was through Lloyd Strayhorn, which is Numbers in You. Both are black men, both been on Black Magic 363. And Lloyd Strayhorn actually been on Oprah show for those who like Oprah 3 times back in the day. And he really went into readings and why numbers are important. So I got these two books here that I really study every day.
Yeah,
So
much respect to King Simon. Actually, we supposed to link up on something. It's funny you brought it. It's funny you brought him up. Yeah, somebody just was telling me about him the other day on the phone, and hopefully in 2 weeks I'm supposed to go to an event where he's going to be at, and we're supposed to link up.
yay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so hopefully he come on the show. He'd be real busy right now.
Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. Any questions?
So what is numerology?
So numerology is pretty much the study of numbers. It's an esoteric science. So what is esoteric? So it's kind of like this odd, unusual spirituality practice. So like I said, when you think about astrology, you can think about numerology. So it's taking your birthday. Let's see, did I put it back here? So it's taking your birthday and the year and pretty much telling you about what's going to happen in the universe or on Earth. So for instance, I'm glad you did that. So if you guys can see my board, I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, we'll just do it that way. So universal year, we're in universal year 4, so 2020. So you think you add it all together, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 equals 4. And if you take away the zeros and put 2 and 2, that's a master number. So anytime you have a master number or you was born on the 11th or the 22, you're supposed to be vibrating higher. You're automatically a leader in a inspiration to people. But so many people don't know that. Why? Because they're functioning on low frequency. They're doing, low level behavior, and they really don't want to do it because they're in massive numbers, and intuitively they're like, oh man, I don't want to do it, but I don't want to be part of, the loner group. So for us, Q, since our birthdays are reversed, so for the audience that don't know, I'm 113, Q is 131. So our birthdays are pretty much the same. We resonate on the 4 energy. In 2020, we on the 4 energy. All right, so we on the 4 energy. What does that mean? So since we're in universal year 4, you're gonna see all type of weird stuff. Like let's talk about politics for 1 second. Everyone don't bite my head off. So it's weird to see how Joe Biden and Sanders are the only ones who are still left in the race. If it was, we're shocked to see that Elizabeth Warren had dropped out. Mike Bloomberg like jumped in and then he jumped out. So we're gonna see a lot of illusions that's gonna happen throughout the 2020 year. So that's the low vibration frequency for you as a universe, as people. We need to be focusing on our own mental health, because 4 is also a mental health number. So usually when you start your day off, you need to be positive, because 4, if you do the calculations, it rules like mental health facilities. So you have to vibrate high. Also, too, you have to be structured. So if you're finding yourself like, oh, 2020 is not my year, we're still in March. So you have to still have to be structured. You have to figure out what's best for you and your family and go from there, and pay attention to your goals. You're going to see a lot of bull crap on the news about, oh, we hear about coronavirus, which is true, but you should have been started washing your hands before that happened.
So one of the things that I noticed was when we speak about the vibration and the year, like 2018 was what, the year of the Gemini, right? And this is one of the things that people that believe in numerology was saying in reference to Trump becoming president, Kanye West aligning himself because their numbers matched up and they're both Geminis. And this is
Right.
why they said why Kanye lined himself with Trump in the year of the Gemini. Let me ask you, when you looking at numbers, like you said, me and your number, it has a core 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're looking at numbers now, how do you not try to predict the future, but how does it tie in with a spirituality concept and so forth, so on?
So for me, it ties in with spirituality because I know that intuitively, I'm an intuitive person, and there's some things that I have to let go, and there are some things that and not focus on the outside. When I actually, that's the reason. One of the reasons why I actually got readings done, because I knew something was off, and that I probably wasn't in my purpose as far as like reaching the next level. And so with us having the number 4 as our core number, we have to understand that we're intuitive. Also, too, that we have to like express ourselves, because we have that 3 and the 1. Like yours is 3. You have to outwardly express yourself all the time. And with the 1 energy, we're leaders. So, sometimes, like we talked about earlier, having that doubt, like, oh man, if I'm making an impact, you're making an impact. But also, too, how are you being resilient when you feel you're not making an impact as well? And how are you going to reach a certain vibration so you won't, I don't think I put the arrow down, so you won't have the arrow pointing down. You're focusing on your weakness.
Okay. Yeah, it's like it's funny. It's like a perfectionist thing type of thing. Like you always self doubting yourself. Like, dang, I gotta be perfect with this. Was
Yes.
this good? Was this like for example, like and I'll tell the audience, I always go back 2 or 3 times and look at every show and be like, yo, did we have a good show? Like, yo, like I don't know if we went too far. I don't know if we went this way. So you never know about the self doubt, the impact that you have, and like you said, someone put up interesting thing is 4 is, somebody just put up 4 is a lucky number and powerful number to influence. And also someone put up, that's why my daughter meditates every morning and her birth month is April and born on the 8th.
Yes. So she is a Aries, born on the 8th. 8 is money. Like my life path is an 8. So I don't know if you guys can see it here at the bottom. I'm 26/8. So like when you turn the 8 on, like on its like side, that means I always say forever infinite. So like we have to always be on point, and 8s are a karmic number. So let's say if I do something ratchet on this show and I'm like, F you, F this, and I'm like, hit them up style. Trust me, I'm gonna get that karma once I get off this show, or like somebody will send this video to my parents, like, you see what Andrea was talking about, and I'll get in trouble with that, even though I'm 37 years old. So that's good that she meditate and vibrate high, because those 4 and the 8s, like I said, they're mental numbers and they're depressive numbers. So you can go through depression very easily compared to, let's say, someone with a number that's a 5.
Okay. Someone else put up. I guess their birthday is 11/2/1978.
So 11 2. So we're talking about Scorpio, and that's a 2. So a person who's a 2, they're very mild mannered, they're considerate, they're gentle. And also they're very sensitive. So anyone who's born, like let's say 2, 29, they have to really be assertive, because you can really like, oh, I'm going with the flow, and then you allow people to be a doormat towards you. So that's good that they said a 2, because a lot of times, and then you gotta be aware, don't be petty. I hope you're not a petty person, because they can, once they vibrate low, they can be very petty, very vindictive people. So just make sure that you're always on, like, take ownership of your sensitivity. That's good, because we need more of that, because that means you're a compassionate person. But do not vibrate on the pettiness. Don't let anyone bring you down to that.
For those that's on YouTube, make sure that you like the video, and if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you could ask Drea any questions. I don't know if she had intention on doing any readings right now, but we love the engagement as well. So someone else put, okay, the person that's put September 2nd, what year were you born? And someone else put 3/23/79. That's another Aries. That's a
Three.
March Aries.
Okay, right. So they're a 5 person, because 2 plus 3, because you gotta think of your birthday. 2 plus 3 is 5. So people who's born on the 5th, they resonate also on the Gemini and Virgo energy as well. And so, like, you have to make sure that you are like not participating in ratchetness, because they can be very overindulgent in sex, any type of addiction. And also too, they're very brilliant people. So you have to make sure that your brilliance is being known, and do not vibrate low, and do not, try to go there with people and be like, oh, I want to get vindictive and go sleep around, because it's going to come back on you.
We got birthdays jumping up on the screen, Dre. the, the person that says September 2nd is 1974.
Okay, so 1974, September 2nd. And let's talk about that real quick. So I'm gonna do some calculations.
Oh, this
September.
this this is a close friend of mine.
Okay. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna do some we're gonna do personal years too. So September 2nd, 1970.
1974.
Okay. So this, hold on, bear with me. I gotta do my calculations. I'm new to this, guys. Like, I didn't know I was gonna do all this, but this is fun stuff. All right. And y'all can keep on with the questions.
And we also got a 12/11/80.
Okay. Let me do.
Like I said, I don't think she was prepared for readings, but it's a good thing. She's into numerology, and
All right. So the person who, the September person, your life path is a 5. So let's talk about life path real quick, which I have over here. So for anyone that's at home, you can do your own life path number. So what you want to, this means that this is your truly purpose and your passion. So you can add your birth month, date, and year. With this person who is the 23 person, their life path is a 5. So when you are a 5 person, you're pretty much are an influencer. How are you influencing people? Also, too, let me open up my book for the 23, because it reduced down to 23. So you always want to reduce your numbers down to a single digit.
okay,
Unless you are a master number, if you are 11, if you are 22. But if you're like 23, you need to reduce it down to 5. And so the person that was born on the 2, so let me go back to that. This person always need a companion. So they're always looking for a companionship, whether it's like, it doesn't have to be like, it could be a platonic, it could be something in the workforce. This person also too, they're always willing to assist. So like, always make sure
that's
that you're willing
is
to.
that the person that was born September 2nd?
Yes,
They always want to assist.
yes.
His
And if
employment
they're
his
not,
his employment is to help people.
right. So they're always willing to help people. Also too, they're very good with business. So keep that compassion in your business. Here goes the complication to avoid or to work on. Be decisive. Also too, don't be doubtful and clingy, because people who's born on a 2, like I said, they're very sensitive. They're very clingy because they want to, help so many people. And also, too, I bet that person has a lot. If they're a man, they have a lot of homegirls. They like, oh, you my homeboy. Oh, and he kind of gets like, oh, he falls for the story, and he may have a companion and be
Let
like,
me, let me
why is
just tell you,
homegirl calling you?
Dre. Let me just tell you that he is a coach, and he got he have a bunch of our co friends, female friends, in in his class, and he be getting on them like he hard on them right now.
Okay, good,
he
good,
he
good,
sh-
good.
he's showing up at jobs and everything.
So good. So stay on that. And also too, so your numbers will be five, but it's okay if you're sensitive because like I said, those born on the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, and the 29th, they are very sensitive numbers. So make sure that you are keeping your boundaries with the opposite sex and continue to help people because that's your one of your purpose in life.
Just a quick note: if you're on Facebook, if you haven't authorized them to let me see your name, I can't see your name, but I'm gonna try to get everybody in there. Dre, we got it's two more that popped up. The
Don't
12
let that
11
be
19.
11.
Yeah, that's the 12 11 80, and I got a big one coming right after that.
Okay, so my 12, 11, 80 person, you are a master number 11. So this is what I need for you to do if you're not already doing it. You need to understand that you are a leader and step into your leadership. I know that you just by looking at your numbers, you're a Sagittarius, and sometimes you can think you're the boss of the all bosses, and that you can be a warrior. But make sure you channel that energy for the greater good of your local community, for yourself at home, and for the people. Also to tap into your spirituality. There's something that you need to tap into a little bit more with your spirituality because this is going to also not only help you have a spiritual awakening, but it's going to also help people vibrate higher when you are around them because you're probably one of those type of people like, hey, like I'm cool to be around, but also too, you're also if we did 11/2, you're a sensitive number as well. But also too, you just make sure that you can go in between the spirit world and the physical world.
I got a big one for you here. This is Aries. They have 4 Aries.
Oh, 4/4 Aries. And you know what? For Aries, this is your year too, because we're vibrating on the 4 fars with the universal year. Um Aries, very assertive. Also, you are 4 like myself and Q. So you are definitely you may get misunderstood at times because of the way that you probably communicate. You're probably a structured person because 4s are usually structured. They're usually like, listen, this is what you need to be doing. This is what I'm doing. I got my own agenda. You got your agenda. That's cool. Also, too, you have to make sure that you are using your voice. So you should be good in communicating. You probably loyal, patient, and what they call it, long suffering. If you're not, you need to work on that and not be so dogmatic when it comes to trying to run people's lives. And sometimes you may have to communicate a little bit more and repeat yourself because some people are like, oh, you're kind of odd because 4 is also an odd number. You're kind of unusual and you have your own style.
Just Dre, this is an affirmation of something we talked about behind the scenes. Somebody said she on point, Quentin, because I carry stones. So they really like the work you're doing, and you're appreciated. Look, listen, everybody that's watching, like I said, spread the word. I mean, join the discussion. My friend said, my friend said, I need a deeper reading because I disagree with the sensitivity stuff. That's the one that's September 2nd, 74.
Okay, and you're a Virgo too. So Virgos usually are like they're on point, but usually it's something inside that's like kind of sensitive. So like, do you take constructive criticism well? Or do you just dish it out and you don't like you're like, I'm good. Like I'm a Virgo, like I got my stuff on point. So we can have a discussion after this.
But let me, Dre, do you ever find yourself like, yo, when you first started studying numerology, did you ever find yourself like, yo, this stuff scaring me? Like these numbers, and it'd be like, yo, like let me pull back away from this a little bit. Like, yo, this stuff is too much going on. Like,
At first, yes, because I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. So another reason why I got a reading, because I always wanted to know why my parents had me so later on in their life. My brothers and I were 12 and 13 years apart, and I used to be so upset because I'm like, why did y'all wait all these years to have me? So when I got my reading, that was one of my first questions, like, why? Like my parents had me in their 30s, and I missed out on like being a 70s baby, like I'm an 80s baby, and I'm like, and my parents and my brothers be talking about all this stuff. I'm like, I wasn't there. And so the reason why my parents pretty much was they have the same exact numbers. My dad's a Scorpio, my mom's a Libra, and their numbers are the 3, the 6, and the 3, the 6, and the 9. And when the guy had did my reading, he's like, one of your parents is a Scorpio, and I was like, oh my God. And I said, yeah, that's correct. So I kind of got afraid because he had read me like a book. And he's like, you haven't tapped into your full potential. And he's like, you need to tap into your full potential because this is the reason why your parents got together. He's like, now, yeah, because I told him that they got divorced like, pretty much 10 years later. He's like, well, maybe that was a reason why they got together to have you, but you have to make sure that you carry that legacy forward. So I got definitely afraid. Then when I started dabbling into like my personal year, my life path, and just even like the 52-day 52-day critical cycle. And let's talk about that real quick. For those who's having a birthday, let's say in 52 days, make sure that you are on point. Why I say that? This is the time that you need to be cleansing and releasing people from your life who is no longer uplifting you, who's no longer helping you carry forward your purpose and your passion. This is the time to like get rid of stuff that you've been holding on to. So I'm talking about emotions, material stuff. You want to find peace and not get into arguments, because it's like I said, it's going to come back on you whenever you get into these arguments, and you're going to be sought out. And it depends on what your number is. Like I said, I'm an 8, so I have to make my life path is an 8. I have to make sure that I'm not having any karma coming back on me. Also, too, you want to get things in order. So if you got to pay off past bills, pay your past bills off. If you can, or make a payment plan. So you want to start getting things in order, because your new year is actually your birthday, not January 1st. Your new year is your birthday. Like my birthday was January 13th. That was my new year to do. So make sure that you're on point with that. Also, too, something I wanted to know. 52-day cycle. So yeah, so just make sure that you are, on point with that. I'm just giving you guys the light version. Like if I was to go into like your name, I'm talking about like your full name, and I did the math on that, you'll probably like, you'll be clutching your pearls when I get down into it. But I'm doing very light today.
let me ask you, what country did you tell me your husband was from?
He's my husband's family is from Nigeria. He's first generation Nigerian American, and they
Okay,
also
because
have.
I'm trying to get out of the habit of calling Africans Africans. I'm trying to get in the habit of calling them from the country they from instead of the daggone continent they from. So,
Right.
being that your husband has a Nigerian based, basically, spiritual system, how does it tie in with the numerology?
It definitely ties into the numerology, because they also practice numerology. They have their own charts that they pull from as well. It was also part of African spirituality at one point until the European culture, the Chaldean culture had got into numerology, and they do their own thing. Now their practice of numerology is on point too as well. So they're definitely in alignment with the Nigerian numerology. So it definitely helps me to, look at myself like, don't chase the bags. The bag's gonna come. It's all about too, how am I making a bigger impact by using my words, by being expressive, by being compassionate, because I have to make sure that I'm being very compassionate, and that I'm also being a humanitarian. Also, by being in the personal year 9, we're both in the personal year 9, Q. What does that mean? Even though we're in universal year, we're supposed to get our stuff together because we are in universal year 4, but personal 9, that means like you have to cut off ties with people who are not bringing you any type of like joy, who's not going to propel Let's Talk forward. This is a time for completion. So if you've been holding off on projects that you've been doing that you needed to do for 9 years, you need to be completing those projects as well. Remember, 9 is like the completion number, and it's also helping you to rebirth and also destroy some things. So when you go into personal year 1, which is the new beginner's number, you need to be completed with all that mess that you was dealing with for the last 9 years. So think about, did you have a great last 9 years from 2020 all the way up to, the first year you had it? And if something that you're like cringing, like, oh, I didn't have a good year, then you need to start changing that trajectory now.
My friend went to September 2nd, 74. He actually told me to give you his name.
Okay. So what I can do is give give me your full name, or I can give you my email. I'll do your numbers from there, and then I can email it back to you, because we'll be on here all day, honey. Like, I'll be like doing things like, oh my God, and then the numbers will pop up. So yeah.
For those that don't know, and this is something that Dre is mentioning about our year and having the energy, is that me and Dre actually met on Twitter. And I don't know if any of y'all got Twitter accounts, but Twitter, you dealing with a whole bunch of different people, a whole bunch of different things going on, and we actually met on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So if you whether you believe it or not, this friendship that me and her got started from Twitter. She's
Yep.
originally from Rhode Island, and she
From
lives in. Yeah, she's really from Boston, but she don't even live close to me. So you could take that and be like it don't mean nothing, or you can take that and mean something. Those that know how hard it is to meet sane people on Twitter, because it'd be a bunch of stuff going on. And actually, how we met on Twitter, we don't even indulge in that same circle that we met on
Right.
anymore. So
And I was in my 52-year day cycle when all that was going on, when I took myself off of Twitter, because I had to, because of it was really bringing me down to the point in which, like, I was starting to being for having like depressive and being moody, and I was like, oh, I can't rock with Twitter like this. And I had met phenomenal people, like Q has said, I met him, I met like 2-3 other people off of Twitter. But when, like I said, when social media starts affecting your psyche, and you probably a 2, that's when you need to go ahead and just shut it down.
yeah,
And I
because
don't know
you had just got finished ripping in somebody's behind, and I was like, "Yo, where you at?" You was like, "Yo, I had to fall back."
right, exactly. So for the person, I don't know if they're still on, that's the my 11th person.
She needs your
The
email.
huh?
My friend needs your email.
Okay, so my email is Drea, DREA, at brown girl from Boston.com. So that's Drea, DREA, at brown girl from Boston.com. So send me your email, send me your full name. So, first name, middle name, last name, also to your date of birth, and I can work your numbers out for you.
So you were still doing the reading for the person that was that 1211?
Yeah, 1211. I wanted to read something for them.
Yeah, 12/11/1980. That was the
Okay, so this person is a fire plus fire, which equals air numbers. So this person must use their creativity, and they must be inspiring, spiritual, and highly intuitive master. So make sure that on the complicated side can be a master of deception and a master thief. If they allow the 2 energy, that could be bad tempered with a tendency to lie for no reason. So make sure that you're using your creativity and you're inspiring, and that you're being highly intuitive. So for instance, we all have intuitive spirituality within us. So if you know something is like a red sign, if you dating somebody and they keep doing, I always say ratchet behavior, that is your intuitive kicking you in your behind, like, listen, and don't ever second guess that. Because when you get into it too deep, and then by see, I told you who I was, and you're gonna be like, damn, I should have listened to my intuition. So that's what my 11 person, my master 11.
all right. I see that the numbers go up and down with the show. Some people join in. So to reset the show, the topic of the show is numerology. Drea, who's a contributor, co-host, she been supporting me since day one. She was actually one of my first ever interviews after I think third or fourth. But
Yeah.
we met on Twitter. She's into numerology. She understands it. So basically, she has been giving a couple of the guest readings the best she can based off their birth date. So if anybody has a birth date, they could put it up, and she could try to help them, assist them, and get them to understand some of the signs that we have. Because whether you're religious or not, the universe all works together.
Right.
So everything works in unison. This is my personal belief, and
Mhm.
people that study the universe personal belief that nothing is by coincidence. So what she'll try to do is give you some understanding of, based off your birth date, what's going on in your life.
Exactly.
One person said, oh, that's Brad messing with Cameron. But my husband calls me Geechee with the third eye because I'm from the South, so I totally get it all.
Yes. Yes. I get you, sis. Yes, and that's an important thing too. Like with this being in number 4, universal year 4, we have to use our third eye. That means you're being intuitive. You have to not fall into the illusions of what they're telling you on TV. You have to seek the knowledge from your elders. You know, you can get so much knowledge on Google. Like I always tell people, do your Googles, but listen to your elders and take notation. Like, oh wow, like nothing really have changed in the last 55 years, since let's say the assassination of Malcolm X. And the reason why all this is coming up with Malcolm X, think about it. X is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. So it's going to be some new beginnings, some new discoveries about Malcolm X assassination. And it's been 55 years, 5 plus 5, 10. Break it down to 1. So we're going to see more discoveries on Malcolm X assassination, and even maybe his works that's going to come out. So you guys, keep your third eye open.
What somebody put an interesting thing, and like we always like for great discourse, and I don't think this is a bad thing. Somebody put, I don't believe in astrology, but I am all 12 signs, and they put the money signs.
Hey, I can't knock that. And they may be a money person. Their birthday could be something on the 8th or the 4th or whatever the case is. So they're probably a money person. They're probably all about the money. And they probably are a powerhouse or accountant. They probably have a job dealing with money. So I don't blame them because the reason why they say that.
Another one of my good friends, and I understand his sentiment. He was born in a very religious home. We talking
Me
about
too.
all. We talking about 3-4 generations of bishops and stuff like that, and bishops and people into the church. So with numerology, astrology, um, like the universe, sometimes it may appear to us as scary or a little spooky. How do we deal with that, Drea?
I would definitely say seek the knowledge for yourself and be open minded. Me, I did an episode about growing up a Jehovah Witness household, and this stuff is like a big no. Like you don't tap into this, but you can't function without numbers. You can't function out without knowing what the time is or what year it is, whatever the case is, and everything has a significance. So do your research. Even do your research on, let's say, why did your parents name you, right? You'll be very surprised on why your parents named you, or your name was gonna be this. Like my name was gonna be Jessica, and my mom was like, "Nah, I don't want no one calling her Jessie." And I'm like, think about like Jessica, but like my dad named me, and they didn't even know that I was gonna be a girl. So really just do the research for yourself and see how it ties into your life, and just take bits and pieces. And some people gonna have the side eye, like, is this really real?
My friend said he sent you the email, so he on it. He ain't playing. You know, he see the sensitive aspect of his birthday that you told him was how he is now, opposed to how he used to be. This is a close friend of mine, so
Okay,
you know when you're younger, you're a little wilder.
right.
So so you get older, so you begin to get a little bit more sensitive to things. Like I said, one of the aspects of like I said, I believe. I'm not going to say I don't believe in numerology because I know me and Oba had the same discussion before. Like
Hmm.
how it all ties together with the universe and everything like that. What when you do a reading and someone comes to you, do you tell them like, listen, Just as a warning, when you come get a reading, don't take the reading and just go left. Because some people take a reading and be like, "Oh, this is what she said. I'm scared. I want to do this. I want to do that." Like, what? How do you tell them to handle and internalize the reading?
I do it like a coaching and also a motivation coaching. So I want them to be motivated by their numbers and by them being, let's say, I'm gonna go for two, for instance, by being sensitive because maybe the brother needs to be sensitive and deliver a message that, let's say, a hardcore nine, a person who was born on the ninth, they straight fire. They're gonna tell you how it is. That's it. And people who's born on the threes, like I'm gonna just tell you and what I may hurt your feelings. But two, he's probably like, oh, okay, like you just probably need to use your numbers for the positive good. And maybe you're in the wrong career. Because a lot of times when I looked at it, I was like, okay, because me being a social worker, I was like, I'm sick of being a social worker, and it was going against, what I was doing, and knowing that I needed to express myself a little bit more. So I try to encourage people, and if they do have some type of flaws, we all have flaws, but how can you constantly work on that? And use your strengths to really, bring the best out of you and also the best out of the community or whatever that you're doing in your life.
Do you think that like you said you were raised in the Jehovah Witness? Do you think that religion doesn't teach it enough? Like
Mm.
religion doesn't teach numerology enough, or religion doesn't teach spirituality and mysticism enough to the point where a person that may be religious and they'd be like, "Oh, it's spooky," but it's probably an aspect of the religion that they follow, the faith that they have. It's probably an aspect that they just don't know nothing about, but they'll automatically denounce it because they don't know nothing about it.
Exactly. I think it's something that, it could be spooky at first, and that, without spirituality, you can't have religion. And, it's just all about how the spirit is going to guide you. And then the Bible, it talks about, on the fifth day, this happened, on the ninth day, this happened. Why are those numbers so significant? Why the numbers, when people talk about, well, Jesus, the 33, his 33rd year, he got killed, or, on this day, he risen, for those who are Christians or whatever the case is, or just even the basic numbers on 144,000. Why we don't have those discussions on why only 144,000 is supposed to go to heaven. This is for, Jehovah Witnesses, and this is in the Revelations. Why that particular number? Then when you bring down the number, 4 plus 4, 8, that's nine. Nine, and like I said, in the Bible and in other religions, is nine's for completion. So is that 144,000, which equals nine? Is that means that's the completed ones? Those are the chosen ones. Who knows? So you have to do, like I said, your research yourself and not be spooked out. Yes, I was totally spooked out getting a reading. I was like, oh my god, like I'm getting a reading. I can't tell anyone, but it had helped me out so much to the point I wanted to study, and that's why, like I said, I got these books. And these books are really good information. Even in this book, he talked about how the 5 percenters in Nation of Islam, have their number system. One meaning knowledge, two meaning wisdom, three is understanding, four is culture, five is power, six is equality, seven is God, eight is build and destroy, nine is born, and zero is cipher. So like it's in some type of religion, if you think about it, and why they have these numbers, or why you hear 5% is like, oh, what's the math, God? You know what I'm saying? Or why they even consider themselves God. So something to think about.
Because what we call a supreme wisdom, the people that's into the 5%, the supreme wisdom came from somewhere. Whether the origin, whether people agree with it or not, it came from somewhere. It didn't just pop up out of nowhere. I'm just laughing because we had where we from, Drea. The supreme wisdom was around. You know what I
Right.
mean? A lot of people don't know is that Clarence 13X actually migrated to Matawan, New Jersey, and after Brooklyn and as they
Mhm.
say, the Mecca and Medina, it kind of infiltrated New Jersey and it has a big influence on a lot of people in New Jersey.
Right.
Um, so that's about it. I mean, we could wrap it up. I mean, anybody in the audience that's watching got any more questions for Drea?
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
she's more than welcome to answer. Uh, Mr. Cameron, she got your email. She's gonna respond to you as quick as she can. Uh, you know,
Right.
they're
I think
going.
it was a good show. I know a lot of times we don't talk about numerology, but definitely check out King Simon, check out Lloyd Strayhorn. Their books, they really had helped me. Like I said, I went very light because I could have went into like soul urge, personality number, expressive number. But I wanted to go very basic with everyone, and I just want to make sure I cover everything. Yeah, I covered everything. And also too, where I know people like, what does that mean? It has nothing to do with numerology, but it's all about, just being careful if your technology been kind of weird.
Dre, Drea, we're gonna explain it to one of my close friends. He said, "I don't know where you and her met." I'm explaining again for my brother Brad. Me and Drea met on Twitter.
Twitter.
For those that don't know how the Twitter community is, it's crazy. A lot of people. Drea, me and Drea was following a particular group. We all got the same interest,
Right.
and Drea was ripping into a troll one day, and she was going in, and she disappeared for like 2 3 days because the engagement in this particular group was serious. Every
Right.
day you seen the same people. So Drea was ripping into someone,
Yes.
and I don't know. The energy just claimed me and her together.
Right.
We did an interview for those that understand anything about or trying to get to understand anything about reparations on the YouTube channel. She did an interview with me on the reparations movement and trying to understand the wealth gap between Native Black Americans or African descendants of slaves and our white and Latino counterparts in this country. So that's how me and Drea met.
Via
So
Twitter.
she has been helping me get the channel off the ground, as well as Drea has her own channel. It's called
Right.
Brown Girl from Boston.
Yes,
Plus, she
exactly.
has a project that her and her co-founder Shamika are working on. It's called the
The
Career List
career
Project
side.
that
So
I
I'm
interviewed.
I'm just like I said, I'm in my personal year 9, and so is Q. So like we're just making sure that we're completing our projects. And last year was actually a year of like being social. So that's how me and Q probably connected, and like we will probably stay connected because it wasn't if we connected, let's say personal year 9, and I'm just this new person. I don't think we'll still be connected going forward because this is a year in which you're releasing people. Who's been dead weight for a long time, and new people that you're meeting, you may not still be connected with them, going into personal year 1. So that's how we connected for those who like, how you know this chick? Like, she's not from New Jersey.
Plus, plus, my friend Brad loves education. Drea,
Oh, nice.
tell him what college you graduated from.
So I graduated from Tuskegee University with my bachelor's degree in social work, and I graduated from University of Southern Mississippi with my master's degree. And so, I'm into education. I like to educate people. We are in the education year Q, so that's why you're doing your show because 9 also means education. I don't know if Brad what his numbers are. Maybe he's into education because of his numbers. That's his passion, his purpose. And if he is, I hope he has a career, an occupation that is teaching. It doesn't have to be in the classroom, but you're actually giving knowledge to people, whether it's in your group, whether it's in your community. So I hope that you're vibing on that energy because we need people like you to do that, especially Black men. That's very important.
He he actually is a CPA.
Well, you still
he
educating people
he
on taxes and on the accounting tips. So yeah,
he told me to ask you, Drea, did you pledge anything while you was in college?
no, I didn't
She
have
didn't pledge
no
anything.
time. I didn't have no time.
So if that's it with the audience, anybody have any more questions? Anybody want get put their birth date up? Maybe she could do something real quick. I mean, like the show, I believe was good, and I hope we got a better understanding of numerology and what is it. Everything is not always like mystifying to the point, like like I said, one of the things that those of us that may believe in religion, a lot of times we don't touch certain areas because we've been taught that it's kind of like spooky.
Right.
But in your journey of of your travels, if you study it, whatever you say you believe in, you'll see that a lot of this stuff all ties together. Like the universe, the creation, as we say, the creator makes no mistakes. So all this stuff ties together. Someone
Exactly.
put, someone put. I know who this is. Someone put one. Someone put 125.
7. Oh man. So you are 7 and 25. Let me read from my book of 20 people with the 25 number, and you're Aquarius too. So strong, intuitive, and free will. So this person needs a lot of freedom to pretty much tap into spirituality and to really they need a lot of alone time to go in and self-reflect and to make sure that they're doing the right thing. Don't be too secretive. Don't be disgruntled when you're on this path of like, oh man, am I doing the right thing? You're a 7 person. So a 7 person is pretty much a researcher. You need to meditate a lot. This person probably also too has to really like, I'm gonna give you an answer, but not right now. Let me think about it, and then I'll get back to you. This person also needs to tap into, 7 also is a God number. You need to tap into your spirituality. You need to also, they're probably shy, so you probably got to work on being, a little bit extroverted, but still, you're still the quiet storm. So they don't want to rattle you too much, because if they rattle you, you probably will turn into a tornado.
Well, I'm gonna tell you because I know the person, and you are nailing it. And that person is probably like, wow, the person is very religious. So they if they don't meditate, they're definitely gonna pray on things and
Right.
get in tune with that, and they won't give you an answer right away.
Yeah, and a lot of sevens are spiritual people, and if you have a lot of sevens in your charts, you definitely either, like you said, very religious, or you're probably want to be, let's say, a pastor, something, a spiritual head in your whatever community. So tap into that. If that's your journey, like tap into it. Don't let anyone sway you from that.
Like I said, thanks everybody for joining us. I'm glad that Dre could give us some time this afternoon to discuss numerology. Drea hopefully will be back on the show soon. Like
Yeah.
we're working on things. Like I said, she has her own platform on YouTube. It's called Brown Girl Boston, as
Yes.
well as her email address is Drea at browngirlboston.com.
Brown girl from Boston.com.
Oh, Brown
So
Girl from Boston.com.
right. So
Drea.
Drea at browngirlfromboston.com. You guys can reach out to me about numbers, about coaching, whatever the case is, and I'll get back to you, because I'm always emailing folks back.
Also, she has a group on Facebook. It's called the Career List with her and her co-founder Shamika, which she been running from us. She ain't been coming on the show, so we beefing. But like I said, glad everybody that could join us. If you was on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Spread the love. Uh, Spread the page. Let everybody know they got like-minded individuals to let us know what we're doing on the page. Thanks and have a good afternoon.
Thank you guys. Bye.